Hey guys, today I will be presenting on how to read the clock in Spanish. The question that appears on the screen right now, ¿Qué hora es? Translate to what time is it? Let's get started. In Spanish, we have two ways to start the sentence when it comes to the clock. We have son las, this one right here, to say it is, but it's only used for anything between 2 and 12. Now, this one right here is la is only used for 1 o'clock. So if we know that the number 2 in Spanish is dos, because you are supposed to know already the numbers between 1 and 60 to be able to do the clock, and I want to say that it is 2:05, we're going to start with son las, because it's, you remember, son las is anything between 2 and 12. So we have son las dos. Now, right here on the PowerPoint, it says that you need to add a Y to be able to add minutes to the hour. So we have it is 2 o'clock and the number 5 is cinco. So we have it is 2 o'clock and 5. It literally translates to that, but of course it means it's 2:05. When we have y cuarto literally means 15 minutes or 1/4. It's only used for when you have to add 15 minutes to the hour. So if I want to say that it is 2:15, the beginning of the sentence is not going to change. It is still going to be son las dos. But instead of doing y quince, which is the number 15 in Spanish, we're going to do y cuarto. Now, just like we mentioned earlier, we do have a keyword for 15, but then we also have one for 30 minutes, and it means y media, which literally translates to half, and half an hour is 30 minutes. So if we want to say that it is 2:30, we're going to do son las 2:30. Very simple, right? Perfect. Now, let's move on. This is when it gets a little bit complicated. We have to subtract from the clock when it's after 30 minutes. So if I want to say that it is 2:35, we are actually going to move up to the next number and subtract from it. So what that means is son las 3, not dos, 3 menos 25, which literally translate that it is 3 o'clock minus 25 minutes. And 3 o'clock minus 25 minutes, it's 2:35. It's a little bit complicated. Yes, I do understand. But when you get used to it, it's actually a little bit easier than writing out normal clock. Just like in English, we do have words like on the dot, midday, midnight, and we do add something to the time when it's AM or PM. And punto, it's used for on the dot. Now remember, that's only used when it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, not any minutes added to it. And also, en punto in Spanish is only used when the information of AM or PM is not provided. Mediodía, it's the middle of the day. And even though it's the middle of the day, don't get confused, guys, it is 12 o'clock PM. And medianoche, it's middle of the night, so it's going to be 12 o'clock AM. When you have for example, it is 2:05 a.m. Let's just add to this. We're just going to add de la mañana to the sentence. I don't know why I did that, but I'm just going to leave it like that. And then what happens if we have 2:15 p.m.? I'm guessing that your question right now is, which one do we use, de la tarde or de la noche? Now, this is what I always tell everybody. De la tarde is used when it's afternoon or evening, but it's not dark yet. And then de la noche is used when it's dark. So because it's 2:15 and of course there's sun outside, I am going to use de la tarde. Now, if it was 8 o'clock p.m., I will use de la noche. Just like we mentioned earlier, there's two ways to start the sentence. Son las and es las. Es la. Son las is anything between 2 and 12, and es la is only for 1 o'clock. Now, when somebody asks you, when is the football game? Or what time is the football game? You definitely are not going to answer the question with, it is 8 o'clock. You're going to answer with, at 8 o'clock. So that's the reason why we have these two right here. A las is going to be used for, of course, anything between 2 and 12. And a la is going to be used for 1 o'clock. Let's look at a couple examples right here. ¿Qué hora es? And if you look at the clock, it is 5:10. So of course, it's going to be son las because it's anything between 2 and 12. Cinco, which is the number 5, and then y to add minutes, and then the number 10. Very good. It is 5 and 10, so it's 5:10. Son las 5:10. This one. Remember, this is a keyword right here. It means 1/4 and is only added for the 15 minutes. So it's telling me that it's 8 o'clock and 15 minutes. Son las 8:15. 5, 10, 15. Son las 8:15. 15 minutes. This one is the other keyword, which it means half. Son las 3:30 is telling me that it is 3:30, literally. So it is 3:30. So las 3:30. Now, just like I mentioned earlier, es la una, es la is only used for 1 o'clock. And if you notice here, a little trick behind it, when you are using the clock and only for the clock, when it is 1 o'clock, instead of doing es la uno, which is usually the number 1 in Spanish, only for the clock, you're going to use es la una with a at the end. And then on this one, we see that it's en punto because it doesn't necessarily say that it is AM or PM. On this one, we subtract because, of course, it's after the half an hour. So it is telling us that it is 10 o'clock minus 20 minutes, which means what? It is 9:40. Yes, it is 9:40. All right, your turn, guys. I'm going to give you a little bit of information, and hopefully you can figure out on your own. All right. Here are the little notes that I took. And here are the numbers in Spanish. So take your time and hopefully you can figure it out. All right, guys, here are the answers. Number 1, son las 5:30 de la tarde. It's 5:30 p.m. Number 2, son las 6:15 de la mañana. It is 6:15 a.m. Number 3, son las 9:20 de la noche. It is 9 minus 20 minutes of the night, which means that it is 8:40 p.m. Es la medianoche, the middle of the night, which is 12 o'clock a.m. Son las 10 menos cuarto de la mañana. It is 10 minus 15 minutes of the morning, which means that it is 9:45 a.m. And last, es la 1:25 de la tarde. It is 1:25 p.m. I have loaded some websites already for you guys. Just to let you know, Mandy Colbert, she is great. You can always go to the Spanish one right here. And it has great, great, great information on everything that you need for Spanish 1. And if you go back, of course, Spanish 2, 3, 4, and anything like that, it's found in this website. If you have any other questions about the clock, I recommend going through the website and finding more information about the clock. And she also has worksheets and handouts that can help you out. Another good thing is Senor Hortan. He has videos about everything. Verbs, clock, numbers, everything that you can imagine in Spanish, he has it. This Learn Spanish, Que Hora Es Telling Time Part 1, it is just like we just did. The first couple step of the clock, and it is great. He has a couple of them that follow up just with the information about AM and PM and all that other stuff. Please feel free to email me if you have any other questions.